What is it, an interrogation tonight?
Where were you on the night?
Cool. Well, Aurelio, congratulations on the win. It's now 6 games unbeaten. You're up into second. I guess it feels like in these press conferences so much we're asking you about injuries. Are we maybe ignoring just how good your side is playing right now?
Well, we are super resilient at the moment, and we've had to be. We've obviously, with all the injuries that we've had, and the young boys have had to step up, and they've been great. Super resilient. Like tonight wasn't a great game for us. We didn't really control a lot of it, but we created, it was a little bit of a different game. We probably created more chances than we normally do, and didn't play the type of football that I'd really like, but understanding that was our 3rd game in 7 days, and we don't have a deep squad to do a lot of rotations. But they're super resilient. We've got to take my hat off to them. They're unbelievable. Even though we were suffering throughout that game at time, moments in the first half, some moments in the second half, they just really dug deep today. It was really pleasing.
Are they exceeding your expectations?
Yeah, a little, because you just never know how it's all going to pan out with such little experience that we have on the pitch. I think our senior guys are doing an incredible job to keep it all together, and the young kids are just growing week by week. The more they play, obviously, I think I said in the past, the more they play, the better they're going to get. And right now, the way it is, they're getting more minutes than they ever thought would be possible. So we're taking points. I think it's important, and I think the belief is always there, but it's a bit like the licorice all sorts. You just don't know what you're going to get sometimes with the kids. So so far, superb, and I can't fault them. You know, the 3rd game in 7 days, they really had to dig deep tonight. You know, the guys who have played a lot of minutes really suffered, but you could see that they were just, gritting their teeth and pushing the way through. And then obviously we made some substitutions that also gave us a little bit of energy as well and created some moments as well. So really, really pleased.
I mean, the other day you said, the attitude from the team is no matter who's the opposition is, no matter who's in the team, you go out there thinking you're going to win. And
well, I think you have to. Yeah, I think you have to. We want to be positive, and you can always say, undermanned or whatever, but they've been training with us from right last year and right from the beginning of pre-season. The only thing is that they just, probably not lacking top fitness, experiencing new things for the first time, like Lawrence, for example. We think he's got a bright future. First senior game, didn't wear the right boots, was slipping over. So all those little things that, they're going to learn from these experiences, and they'll just get better as time goes on. But we can't get too excited. As happy as we are that we're doing okay at the moment, we've still got to keep our feet on the ground, and we've still got to keep working hard. We've got a short turnaround now until Saturday night's game against Brisbane Roar, and that's again not going to be easy. So we've got to find a little bit more energy. We've got to make sure that we're recovering properly, getting good sleep, and preparing as best we can for Saturday's game.
Just on Lawrence, I mean, recently he said that he's told us he was going to be one to look out for, even though we hadn't seen.
He said that.
I think you did.
Oh, I did. Oh,
yeah.
He did.
Oh, he may have.
Yeah, he probably would have as well. Yeah.
No, but you
look
did
out
too.
for me, he would have said. Yeah.
Maybe he took his cue. I don't know, but to just a few words on his debut. He's so impressive out there tonight, wasn't he?
Yeah. Look, he's had a bit of a background with futsal, so you can see with his silky skills, but he's getting used to the physical demands of senior football, and it's completely different. So he's going to get better. He's going to grow. You can see some of the nice touches, and he was a bit off with a couple of passes, but he has that creative edge that we don't have a hell of a lot of. Take Andreas out of the picture, and obviously Lex and Tills, for example. We don't have a hell of a lot of creativity in there, and he has that in his game. So we thought, instead of having the same midfield, let's change it up a little bit and see how he goes. And obviously, not playing senior football, not playing football for a long time. You know, the NPL was out of competition, so he ended up getting cramps. But very serviceable, and he should get better.
So it was just cramps that led him to get subbed off? Yeah. Did you have your heart in your mouth a couple of times when Aziz went down and Nathaniel went down as well?
Yeah, no, well, that was all, I know what you're referring to. Yeah. Every time someone goes down, I'm having a panic that, you know, someone's going to be out for 5 or 6 weeks. Touch wood that, you know, we sort of turned the corner with that. And but the demand on their bodies at the moment is extremely high. So, and there's not much we can do about it. We can rotate as much as we can. We try to freshen them up as much as we can, and that's all we can do. And well, I think what's important is our mindset is not just today, and our mindset has been spot on right from the first day of pre-season, and that sort of followed through until this point, and we need to continue to do that.
One of the things that's been really noticeable, I guess, across the past few games is that your press really seems to be clicking into gear, the way that they're moving as a unit, the cues that they're responding to. John was in here just before talking about how good it was tonight as well, and we saw it against Wellington. What has clicked for you in the past few weeks with this press, and why is it being so effective?
To be honest, we were quite ropeable, myself and Jamo, because it wasn't as good as it has been. It certainly wasn't as good as it was against Wellington, and I put that down a little bit to fatigue as well. So it's not easy to play that type of game, and we were a little bit hesitant. We weren't as aggressive, and you know, you put Wongi in there who's not really done it, and all you have to do is just be off for half a second, and then there's no point doing it. And at moments when we could have, we were passive, and we're not passive. We need to keep moving forward and reducing space and applying pressure. We got better definitely in the second half, and then trying to freshen it up. When Zane came on, he helped with that. When Nate came off and we put Kai in the midfield and Stevie went higher up, then he's got more energy. Although he's been clocking up the kilometres. There's been several of guys who've been clocking up a hell of a lot of kilometres, so that's not an easy thing to do. But we had better moments in the second half for sure, where we pinched a couple of balls and created some good chances, and we probably should have scored a third.
It was also a game that was played with feeling today. There were a few incidents on the field, but it was kind of noticeable in that it was one of your younger players making the challenge, your Western players responds, and then the first time Stephen immediately flies in and he's flying the flag for your side, and then the second half Callum's immediately flying in and flying the flag for your side, your veterans stepping in to help the youngsters. Is that kind of indicative of the way your veterans have stepped up to support the youngsters?
Well, I think they always need to step up anyway, but I would just expect that to happen even if it was a senior guy that got kicked. That's just what teammates do, and good teammates do. So I think that's pretty normal. Yes, I understand that, you know, Wongi makes a challenge and Thurgate goes at him, and then it happened again with Benny Dunbar in the second half. That's all normal, that's all part of it, and that's the passion and the feeling that you want in games.
The second goal, great finish by Ben. But what led up to it like that, I think what we're talking about a little bit earlier, the Politis charging
press,
down. Yeah. That must have been really pleasing for you.
Harry's been enormous for us, and he's growing, for a left back who's playing left wing, he's growing week by week, and he's doing a great job. He's really understanding the role. He won the ball, gave it to Arion. Was it Arion Mamedi at that stage? Arion, yeah. And Benny's got a great shot. You don't see it often, but he has a very, very good shot, and it was there for everyone to see tonight. So it was a nice finish. And nice that we also scored from a set piece. It's been quite a while, I think. And then and not conceding another goal, that's also a confidence booster as well.
I mean, just to touch on what we were speaking about earlier, it's easier said than done to, say you want the attitude to go out there no matter what, the personnel, the opposition, but to actually go out there and do it's another thing, and you guys are doing it. So I guess, I know it was still relatively early in the season, but how satisfied are you as a coach? You're now second on the ladder, it's about a third of the way through the season.
I think it's important just gaining points. The more points you gain, you put yourself in a good position, and that's what we're doing at the moment. We're sitting second for the time being. You already see how tight it is from top to 6th or 7th. It's pretty tight. There's a whole cluster of teams there, almost on the same point. So just got to keep getting out there and churning out a decent effort and try to gain as many points as we possibly can. And sometimes it's going to be nice to watch, and sometimes it's going to be ugly, but that's how it is. And at the end of the day, end of the season, everyone's going to see how many points you got, how many goals you scored, how many you conceded, where you finished on the ladder. They forget about the crappy games, they forget about the good games. It is how it is. But we're not going to change our approach. Of course, we'll potentially be suffering again in 3 days' time, but we'll just go out there with the right attitude, try to play to our very, very best, and if we can do that as a group, and we have been for the majority of the season doing it as a group, there's not one player to say, oh, he's our superstar, he's our go-to guy. It really is a team effort at the moment.
Well, I guess just on that, Aurelio, I mean, such is the nature of their talent, we're always going to be asking when's Lecky back, when's Tilio back and all that. But I guess similar to your colleague Michael with the way that he's been able to bring Holly McNamara back, does the fact that the rest of the squad is playing so well give you the luxury that you don't have to rush Lecky back into the squad, you don't have to rush Tilio, you can manage their recovery because you've got other players stepping up and helping to fill that void?
Regardless of who's not there, who's there, we wouldn't rush anyway. So part of the injury process is Mother Nature, and sometimes it takes time. So, and with hamstrings, it's always, when you think it's right, you're probably better off giving it another week. So we've never ever rushed here. Not since I've been here last year. I don't know what's happened in the past, but unless it was a cup final or a grand final or something that you went, you take a risk. But there's no need for us to rush anyone. We want to make sure, if possible, that when they come back, they stay back. That's extremely important for us because, we're already thin as it is, and we need Lex back, we need Tills back. Maxi Caputo's probably even closer than all of them. Ale Lapani probably a little bit longer, but having 2 or 3 makes a massive difference.
Yeah, well, as you've just opened the door to that, Maxi Caputo, any chance for Brisbane?
No, not for Brisbane, but I would say potentially MacArthur. He's travelling really well, and again, I hate giving a timeline because every time you give a timeline, you get smashed in the face, and that's probably what was going to happen. But he's really travelling well at the moment, and he's been able to do a hell of a lot of work. And he had a few issues with the plate in his ankle, probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but that's been resolved, and he's been able to step up his fitness again, and I think by next Monday he's joined the group in a modified fashion, but I think by next Monday he should be able to join the group in full-time fashion.
Do you reckon you'll target anyone in the window or in the transfer window? Or
who knows? We started discussions about what we can do, what we can't do, so that's still ongoing. So the window doesn't open until the 16th, I think it is. So, and it's open for a month. So obviously the way we are, you would think that's just a normal thing to do, but budget constraints, all those sorts of things, the right profile, and sometimes the window is problematic. Guys who haven't got clubs, guys who haven't played for 6 months. So all those considerations we'll have to think about.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.